Hello and welcome back to another sketchbook tour, part of the Main Sketchbook series. So this is from 2020 to 2023, and we are going to speed run all of these stickers because otherwise it'll take me too long. So this is Yeet Isildur. It is from Don Marshall. The Lord of the Rings guy. These two are from Redbubble. This is Beam Paints. These are Catnip. This is Old Gods of Appalachia. It's Podcast. This is By Apollo's Mom, Sunflower Fairy Studios, The Isle of Skye. This one's one of mine. Onto the back, that one's one of mine. This is Gateway Arch and Indiana Dunes National Parks, Blue Springs State Park, and the Valley Forge National Historic Park. And then on the inside, we've got more Beam Paints Art Spot from Edmonds, Washington. These two are labels that I made based off of artwork in the sketchbook. Catnip, Redbubble, Blick, Anderson Japanese Gardens. These two are both mine. This came in some generic like Amazon-esque kind of package, and the Gordy's Pumpkin Run. And then post-it notes. Anywhere you see the post-it notes, or not the red ones are covering addresses, but anywhere you see blue post-it notes, or yellow post-it notes, or pink post-it notes, they're all from work. Okay, we're gonna get into it. That is remarkably faster than the last couple times I've tried doing that. So here we go. So the first page here is just a dedication to my previous sketchbook. I had lost it and wasn't sure I was gonna get back. I did, but this is just I recreated a lot of the sketches that I had posted places. This one's my favorite, so I was really disappointed that I was going to be missing that. But again, the sketchbook was returned. And then here, we jump into the main portion of the sketchbook. So we've got a couple colored pencil drawings of some of the places I've been. So this is Mammoth Cave in Kentucky and Long Island. This is a Queen Anne's lace. There's some better drawings of them. This is our dog. I think these are both from Pinterest. And I'm mapping out all of the places I was going with work. As we go through the sketchbook, there will be lists of like capitals and states. That's what I keep track of as we travel. We've got Stella and Stan. They're my Inktober characters. So you get a lot of Stella and then just occasionally Stan shows up. So he's a vampire, she's a witch. We've got the first of these apple paintings. That's what got turned into the labels that are stuck in the beginning of the sketchbook. These. So this came from this. We've got my Phantom Taco Bell from my run route. Apparently it turned one of the apartment complexes into a Taco Bell on Google Maps. We have more apples. I really like how these turned out. It kind of started the love of watercolors. So those, I was redesigning, or not redesigning, but designing friends for Stella. And that's what these are. I really like this like bee-themed witch. She shows up one other time, but other than that, that's about it. I stick a lot of things in my sketchbook, more so as it goes forward, but here's just a leaf. And then we've got our wrapping paper from 2020. This is the first year I made wrapping paper. As you can see, all the little doodles that got turned into it, and then more doodles that got turned into our Christmas card, which I also keep all of our Christmas cards in this sketchbook. This happens to be peak humor for me, at least. Any other people who grew up with the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, you would know. Here's my state count for the year, so states and capitals. I also essentially do like a recap of the year inside my sketchbooks. I keep other sketchbooks alongside these, so it does take a little bit longer to do them. So here's my cover page for 2021. And then I just didn't draw for like months. So that was in January, and then this is Mermaid, like next page. So, and then this is like June, as I'm drawing sheep for my little sister's wedding. Here's my state and capital list for 2021. We went to the little White House in Georgia. And then here is some stickers that I made for my little sister's wedding, and then just a little doodle of them. Next page here we've got some otters, again with just some hints of watercolor. Then we've got just a handful of other things. You can tell I wasn't really drawing at this point in time. The faces are kind of weird. This is when I got my ears pierced. These are some flowers from our front yard. A wedding of my cousin. This is more from Old Gods of Appalachia. And then here is where I got my set of Cotman paints. So this really started, I guess, everything. So for our anniversary, I got a set of watercolors. These were them. I drew a piece of the Starved Rock, which is one of the state parks in Illinois. And then the flowers that came with my paints. Here's the box. And then a mixing chart that has since gotten added to. So we've got a bunch of the wildflowers from my garden, our dog, and we'll move on. So again, just more flowers. You've got a little Stella here. I was painting, pieces of what we had done. So we'd gone on a sailboat tour of Lake Michigan. These are all from earrings that I had either received, or actually I received those too just years beforehand. I've been carrying them around for ages. So I've really gotten into watercolors. So we've got like our front entryway decorations, some more flowers from my garden. This is Little Gunpowder Falls from Maryland. And then we've got just a page of things. These stickers are from a place that's no longer in business, but that's where they're from. This is one of the last drawings I did on a church program before we left that church. There's lots of weird things going on here. I got an otter in a pumpkin though. And then we have Stella and her little bee-themed friend, who still doesn't have a name, and who I never drew again. So there's that. And then we've got my first plane ticket to Canada, which is since faded. And the rest of this is planning for my little sister's Christmas present in 2021. So it's all metallic inks. It tilts it up so you can actually see everything. But I did everything in like mixed metals. We did a Nutcracker mixed metals themed like Christmas advent box. So they had something to open every day, and it was the first year they were married, so they didn't have a ton of Christmas decorations. So that's the planning for that. There's a little bit on the next page as well. So more planning for that. We were playing Pokemon Sword and Shield at the time. So us as Pokemon trainers and some pin doodles of Pokemon that we were catching. I'm a huge fan of Applin, by the way, and all of his evolutions. He might be my favorite. Him and Yamper. So there you go. Christmas card from 2021. This is a bookmark from Catnip. And then this is the note on my birthday present that year. This is drawings of my husband's first D&D character. Just some packaging from Catnip, and then some Christmas lights. This is from a taco place in Louisville, so it's Taco Lucador. And I think that sentiment is something that everybody should have. Got just some various Christmas drawings from 2021. This is my dog. Her name is Thea. So doodles of her. The first snow just outside my window here. We were looking for new churches, so we did Christmas at a new church. And then this is from our sister-in-law. She saved a couple of the pieces of my mother-in-law's wrapping paper that she had been using for years and made little ornaments out of it. This is my first Christmas Village piece. It's a print shop, and I did a little digital drawing of it, and so I made stickers and printed those out. This is when I got my Etcher sketchbook. It's one of the everyday sketchbooks. I've got a tour of that one actually, if you want to see it, because it was finished by now. And then just some stickers I drew of some otters. Again, just kind of a recap of the year. This is 2022. I finally got some red paints instead of having to mix them out of the like pink and the yellow. So these are for my Cotman set. I had a list of goals here that, you know, honestly, didn't really happen. But I was drawing in a couple different sketchbooks, and I was painting cards for my grandfather. And so a lot of this, at this point, is me playing with my new paints, getting used to them as I draw on literally anything that is not this sketchbook. Here we've got my first sets of beam paints. So I've kept all of the packaging, stickers. I painted a little hobbit hole, and I drew out my my first paints there. I love them. These are what they are, or the original tin, I guess. So Payne's Gray, they're Timberwolf, Prussian Blue, Gray Ultra, Ice Color, Spring Green, Boreal, which is my favorite color ever, Harvest Wheat, Morning Peach, Mars Violet, and then Lake Bed, which is a brown. Did some color tests for a poppy painting that I was doing. I got some like actual, so beam paints are artist grade, but I got some like artist quality paints as well. So this is my first set of core. I love core. It's my entire travel setup now. And then some Daniel Smiths. This is my husband's next D&D character. This is the first time I ever finished a roll of washi tape, so it needed to be added in. More beam paints. I won some Etcher postcards and I love them. Etcher's paper is some of my favorite paper to paint on, so that was really exciting. And then just more playing with the watercolors, really. I did a postcard of my grandparents' golden retriever, so this was figuring out how to draw him. And then when I finally got one I liked, I did do some test colors here before I did it on the real thing. More beam paints. This is a label from one of our customers in San Diego. We've got some pieces of the Valley Forge brochure when I visited there. Just some tests, really. Here we've got some pin drawings of some flowers. This Seduta? I'm so sorry, guys. Is a local art shop in Winnipeg, Canada. And I was up there for work, and they actually have beam paints in store. So I picked up a Mars Black and an ice, like a glittery ice color. This is just the text message my grandmother sent me, encouraging me to send more postcards to my grandfather. And here's a postcard from one of our favorite places in Illinois. This is a piece of tracing paper. I drew one of my friend's cats for her wedding. And then here's some Queen Anne's lace. It's actually drawn well. I was trying to replicate those apples, and honestly I did them so much worse here than I did at the beginning of the sketchbook. This is beam paints on black watercolor paper. Here I started the paint by postcard in 2022. So I painted 50 postcards over the course of the summer. This is put on by Art Spot in Edmonds, Washington, and they were so lovely. That's actually how I ended up with my portable painter, even. So good things all around from that one. Here are my metallic beam paints. This was one of the first paintings I ever did on the road, and just, it's not of anything, but I wanted to keep it because it's one of the first times I painted while I was actually out traveling. And then this is the packaging to a set of earrings from San Diego. And these are Tombow markers down here at the bottom. This, I ordered a art print from Sunflower Fairy Studios. And this is her packaging. And dear Lord, look at it. It's gorgeous. So I kept it. Here's all of the bits and pieces to the travel kit that I was building. So I was using the Moleskine sketchbook. I don't suggest them. I hate the one that I'm using right now. But I started off with it, and it was great to start off with. I went to Articulations, which is in Ontario, and I bought my first travel brush, and it's the Rosemary & Co. Sable brush. It's stunning. Hands down best purchase. It's expensive, but it is one of the best purchases I've ever made. There's a catnip sticker down here too. And now this is for our anniversary in 2022. My husband liked the print we got from her so much that he ordered me more for our anniversary as an anniversary present. So I kept all of the packaging there too because it just made me smile that he chose to do that. And then this is a drawing of my desk setup before I moved everything around. And then we got COVID. So here's my, oh my god, we have COVID. Some little Stellas. And then I decided, you know what, it's gonna be fall now anyway, and so I started drawing pumpkins in like August. And I drink out of a Christmas mug all year round, so this is my Christmas mug on my desk. Here's our trip to the Renfest. It was so hot that day. This is how I felt. And then this is just a post-it note drawing from work. And it's worth saving, so I saved it. We went apple picking, so here's the ornament we got, and just a quick drawing of my husband sitting there eating ice cream, and the wristband. I joined Sarah Burns' Patreon, and I received her first Patreon print like the day Queen Elizabeth passed, so I saved the stamp. And this is just a drawing of the Patreon print that I was sent. So it's hers. I did a mural on our guest room wall. So this is the planning out of that. There's a little Stella here as well. It kind of looks like this, so it's arched over the headboard. This is Head Church, and you can read that if you want, but I'm not gonna dwell on that. We went to a Civil War reenactment. We're in Illinois, by the way. There are no Civil War battlefields here. And yet we went to a Civil War reenactment. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. They tried to reenact Shiloh. They had 3 different presidents that were all there. It was just so bad. But it was kind of fun, and my husband was a good sport. And then here are more of his D&D characters. Then we've got Stella from a work drawing, and then here's our wrapping paper for 2022. So this is all gingerbread dragons. You can see that I was drawing different pieces of the castles here. And I started doing art trades in 2022. And this was the first one I ever received. This is from Germany, and this is from Nicole. I will link her Instagram below. But she sent me all sorts of little things that, you know, I had to keep them all. And the stamps, because their stamps are different than ours, so I had to keep that too. More Patreon from Sarah Burns, some more gingerbread dragon drawings, some poinsettias. This is what started my poinsettia kick last year. And here's our Christmas card for 2022 and my list of states and capitals, if you cared. And oh, then we've got some packaging from Catnip, the name tag from the present my grandmother gave me, and then we went to Galena for my birthday. So they were doing their luminary event. My birthday's in December, so we went to go through their luminary event, and we went to the National Mississippi River Museum, because I am a sucker for things like that. And then more mail. This one's from New Zealand. This is from Michaela, and she is fantastic. This is a drawing of her drawing that she sent me. And then we got advent calendars. So this is the watercolor advent calendar from Addison and Sedgwick, and I just kept all of the little swatch cards. And now we're into 2023. And I'd say that this is probably my most productive art year, but maybe not in this sketchbook. So I did the 100 days challenge. I made it 82 days, 52 of them consecutively. It was such a big deal for me, just because I've barely made a 30-day challenge. So I did Inktober in 2018 that I finished, and I think that may have actually been it. I've come close, but that was the only one I actually finished. So getting 52 days consecutively was fantastic. The rest of this is from what's now called Jesco Sketching. He used to be Rollins End. He made my sketchboard for my travel kit. Hands down, best thing. So he sent paints with that. And so that's all of those swatches. I haven't really used them much, but I love the sketchboard. I would buy like 6 more of them if I could have one in each color, or honestly each size. More swatches of my watercolors. And then I got gouache, so I painted a poinsettia. And then this is just out my window here. This is my grandfather. It's a whole thing. Again, you can read it if you so desire, but more packaging from Sunflower Fairy Studios, and a gouache painting of some apples. We've got my artwork got put on the bulletin for church, and here's a painting of our church. Maybe not a great one, but it's there. Some butterflies with some Tombow markers. This is a collection of things. I was reading The Priory of the Orange Tree at the time, and so I was very into serpentine dragons. So this one's from work. This is just a painting there. There's a car museum next to us, and they opened a Titanic exhibit, and we went to go see that. I've got this grand idea for what I've lovingly been calling a Mythological America series, and this is part of that. It may never happen, but it's like one of those things that you think about constantly, and so that's what that is. More Patreon stuff from Sarah Burns. This is playing with my Neo colors, so mixing them, seeing what colors I could get out of them. These are all in our backyard. This is a drawing of my husband and my parents' dog. It's really light, sorry, but I'm not darkening it because I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it. Then I finished World Watercolor Month in July, and then I made stickers out of all of the artwork pieces. So I stuck them all in here in memory of that. I also made my own sketchbook for this. So this is the paper that I bound the sketchbook with. collection of other things. So I did more art trades this year, so we did with Elle Scribbles and Apollo's mom. She's the one with the whale on the front cover, and more catnip stuff, and our Renaissance Fair parking ticket. And then here is my bits and pieces from Scotland. So we finally went to Scotland this year. There is a video on my channel. I'm not necessarily sure that it's the best video I've ever made, but it takes you through all of our Scotland stuff if you want to see it. And so I've got photos and, you know, a postcard, and I did this painting based off of another artist or airline tickets, things like that. And now, so we've got planning from our Christmas stuff, and then Stella and Stan, because you can't go through a year without Stella. I got one of those Target birds. So this is Tinsel, and then I made a character out of him, or her, I don't know, but that's what that is. This is a handful of other bits. You can tell that I got really anxious here at the end. A, because I had bits and pieces that I've been meaning to stick in my sketchbook and I just haven't. These are from the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library in Iowa. And we were painting our bedroom. And at some point I want to paint a sunset sky on the ceiling. So I did that on the paint swatch. Here's our wrapping paper and our Christmas cards from this year. Scotland themed, just like everything else. The wrapping paper is one of my favorites that I've done, and I did all of this traditionally, scanned it in, and then made a pattern out of it. And then these are Tombow marker drawings of my poinsettias, and then a gouache painting of the stamps that we used for Christmas this year. And then the laziest page I've ever done in my life. So this is a Neocolor recreation of a painting that Winston Churchill did. I've got a book, and maybe I'll make a like art books video at some point, but I've got a book with a lot of his paintings. And so I did a Neocolor rendition of it. And then over here, we've got another rendition of the sunset sky idea that I'm working on for our ceiling. Some stickers, these are catnip. These came with the Addison and Sedgwick advent calendar. This is my succulent on my desk here. And then that's it. This is my recap of 2023. I just went ahead and put it in here instead of adding it to my next sketchbook, because again, I was done and I was ready to do something else. This is a catnip sticker. This is Sunflower Fairy Studios. These are both work post-its, and these are the tracing paper that I used to get the drawings from the sketchbook into or onto postcards. And here's some, they're like post-it notes, but they're see-through. They're kind of cool. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll check out some of the other sketchbook tours on my channel. So there are 2 more of these that are just kind of bits and pieces and everything, and you can kind of see my whole art journey. And then there's a series of travel sketchbooks, and there's a watercolor sketchbook as well. So go check those out. I'm so happy to have you. Thank you so much. And do the YouTube things. So like the video, leave a comment if you made it this far, because first of all, I'm impressed. But leave a comment down below about how long it takes you to fill up a standard sketchbook. And do you use the same sketchbook every time? Because I don't. So leave comments telling me those 2 things. And I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye!